All right, so now you can see that I have all of the background done. It's kind of up to you guys what you are going to do with those, but I would probably suggest, using contrasting colors with them. So if I'm doing this one blue over here, in this one, and I just did this quickly for you guys, but I tend to have a lot of blue and greens and stuff in it. It's probably better to have more opposite colors happening, okay? But now our next part is going to be we're going to take our character or person, whatever we have, and we're going to change the color of them, okay? And we can do this a couple of ways, and I'm going to show you a different way on probably all of my images here. So just follow along. Maybe you want to watch first, see what I show you, and then decide what you're going to do. It might be a good idea I would probably suggest doing the same thing for all four of them. I know that some of the things that I'm going to show you are going to be pretty cool, but I want you to just kind of for now maybe pick one for all four of your guys, and then later on you'll be able to use some of the other techniques on in a different project. And you also might find just depending on the image that you picked, some of these methods that I'm going to show you probably aren't going to work out the best anyway, okay? So now the first thing that we need to do is we need to get to our, we need to click our first person, and we kind of need to isolate them. So how I'm going to do that, I'm on this copy 3 here, which is the bottom right, and I can tell that once again by the bottom corner where it is there, so that one's here. What I'm going to do, I am going to grab the magic wand tool, okay, so make sure you're not the quick selection tool, you're at the magic wand tool, and instead of actually clicking the person, I want you to click the background, okay? Now, notice all of the moving dotted lines are everywhere on the background except the person. So we need to highlight the person. To do that, you are going to go up to, select inverse, and now your person should be selected, okay? Now, just like how we filled in the gradient or the background colors, in order to do that, we have to have the moving dotted line around it. So that way, what the moving dotted line does is it enables me to color in only that area, okay? And it doesn't worry about anything else in the background. It just kind of confines it here, okay? So the first way that I'm going to show you, okay, and I think a lot of you guys will like using this one, okay? Remember, let me pull up an image here. Andy Warhol, let's see over here, Andy Warhol used lots of brightly colored things, okay? So we see this common picture of Marilyn Monroe where we can identify her, but her skin is different colors. Here's another example of that, the bright, bold colors, okay? And I really like this one too, all right? So I'm not asking you guys to necessarily copy all this stuff that Andy Warhol has done, but just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing it, because I want you to make it your own anyway, okay? Show me your personal style, your color choices that you like. That's going to be up to you, okay? So I'm going to go up here, and this first one I'm just going to go to Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to come down here to Gradient Map. Click it. Now, look, it went ahead and it changed my my figure to this blue and white. Looks pretty cool. The reason why it did that, because these two colors here, depending on if your top color here is green or a different color, it's combining those two colors, blue and white. So some of you guys might like the one that it picked for you. I think this looks pretty cool, but it doesn't go very well with my background, okay? I need more contrast, so I want to think about maybe using opposite type colors. So think about maybe what's an opposite color of blue. Maybe like a yellow or an orange. Maybe think about complement colors on the color wheel, how those work together. So I'm going to go down here, and once again, these are all of the gradients that you guys got to choose from from your background as well, okay? So you can kind of experiment with them. I would just recommend clicking through some of them. Some of them aren't going to look very good, okay? So, you know, that one's okay. I lose some of the facial features a little bit. These rainbow ones always look pretty cool, but for this particular background, it doesn't really stand out enough, okay? But you might be able to use those later on, okay? So that one doesn't show up very well. All right, so I want to pick kind of a contrasting color, and I want you guys to explore these a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick, oops, not that one, this one. Okay, I kind of like that one. Stands out quite a bit. I can still see who my person is, and I can still see some of those things there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and press OK. All right, now, if I'm ready to move on to the next one, I'm going to press Command D. But first, I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do with this. Maybe you need to adjust some of the colors a little bit. Okay, you can do that in here as well. Okay, so maybe you want it to be brighter or darker somewhere. Okay, notice how those colors change. Okay, so just kind of your regular editing. Okay, so that was at 0. I'm going to put that back. So you can see a little bit of a difference there. Okay, so play around with that stuff. If you want it to stand out a little bit more, just take a look at that. I kind of think I like that a little. I'm just going to leave it at 0 for now. Okay, so go ahead and look at all of those things and adjustments. Remember, you can always undo something if you don't like it. Okay, so I can go ahead. I'm going to go here. No, we'll get back to this one. Okay, so after you have play around with those gradients, that's one option. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm done with this one. I'm going to press Command D, and I'm going to go ahead and move over to the next one. Okay, my next one is down here. So I have to take that magic wand tool. Remember, I'm not clicking my figure right now. I'm clicking around it. Okay, so everything is highlighted around it. Now, what do I have to do to get it so that my figure is the only thing that's highlighted? I have to go to Select, Inverse. Now, only my Tim Duncan, he's the only thing that is highlighted. So now I'm going to show you something different. If you like the gradient map, maybe you want to play with some of that a little bit, you certainly can. So now I'm going to go up here, and this time, oops, I am going to go to Adjustments, but I'm going to go to Hue and Saturation. Okay, so now watch what's going to happen. So maybe I'm just going to play with this a little bit. Notice what happens to his skin color. It's changing a little bit that way. All right, and it'll also change down here depending on what you do. Okay, so see how that changed a lot. Now this gives a little bit different look because the jersey really isn't changing, just kind of the skin is changing. Okay, and you can play with this a little bit as well. Okay, so kind of explore those tools a little bit, and it'll do some, just play around with the settings a little bit, okay? And you'll find some of the things that you like, okay? So I kind of like that pink purple color that I had. Where's that at? Okay, yeah, maybe something like that. I want to keep it as that. That would be fine. Don't mess with any of that stuff up there right now. We'll get into that later, okay? Now, you can also play with some of this stuff up here. This will give you some other options of colors, okay? So here, all right? So just play around with it. Find what works best for you. You'll find some things you'll like, and you'll find something you like, and maybe you want to do a combination of things, okay? So now maybe you want to leave something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. That would be fine for now. We'll go ahead and get back to this one here in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here, all right? And I'm ready to move on to my next one. So I got to select this one that's up here. Remember, I'm going to take the magic wand. Okay, it should be already up. And I'm going to select everything but the image that I'm trying to select. So I'm going to press the background behind. And now everything is highlighted. What do I have to do to change him? Edit. Oh, not edit. I'm sorry. Select inverse. Now he is only selected. Now, up here in image adjustments, there's also some other settings, okay? You can play around with it as being some black and white things, okay? So play around with that a little bit if you would like to. Could be a setting there. Also in images, not images, I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing, guys. Oh no, I was right. Image adjustment, okay? You can play around with some of these other features as well. So if you go to posterize, okay? See how that kind of makes it look like a poster? Now, the more I put that up, the more it just looks like a real person, okay? So now I can actually combine this. So maybe you wanted to have this kind of a effect with one of the two you've done down here. You can certainly do that, okay? So if I kind of like this posterized look a little bit, I press OK. I can come back here, go to adjustments again, and this time I'm going to go back to gradient map and see that it's combined the two, okay? So you can certainly play with that, or kind of like that color combination there, okay? So you can layer these filters. So just because you picked one already, like gradient map, doesn't mean you can't do another one, okay? But we should still be able to make sure and see what the figure is, so don't go too crazy. We'll have plenty of opportunities to do some cool stuff in this program, okay? So now I'm going to go back up here. Maybe I want to change it a little bit more. And you can play with these auto settings too. That'll change them a little bit. But I'm going to come back up here, image adjustments. And actually this time I'm going to go to filters, okay? So there's going to be some interesting filters that you guys can use in here. Experiment with them, that's fine. Glowing edges is pretty cool, okay? So you can see how that will change my image a little bit, and that opened up a new screen. So I could press OK if I wanted to, and notice what it does to it, okay? Now, I don't really like the way that one looks with the particular gradient map, so I'm going to go Command Z. So experiment with those filters a little bit. I'll show you what those filters might look like on this one here. So I'm going to leave this one just the same. Command D, remember magic wand. Oops, I didn't correct. Switch layers. There we go. Background. Select inverse. And now I can go back to those filters, okay? And you can experiment with a lot of these different ones, okay? So all these different things up here. Okay, and there'll be a lot of different things that you can do with those. Some of them will change color, some of them won't. Just kind of experiment with them a little bit if you want to, okay? Now, so you choose what you want to do for that. Now, last thing that I'm going to show you, okay? If we go back here to our Marilyn Monroe images and some of the images on here, you notice that her makeup and things like that, and maybe not necessarily makeups, but their features, even if we look at this one here, their features, like the eyes and lips especially, Andy Warhol changed the color so they stood out a little bit more. You can do that same thing, okay, by simply, I'm going to zoom in here for you guys. Command plus, okay. If I want to move this to see it, gotta go, oops, that's not what I want to do. Okay, scroll down. Now, I want to make sure that I'm in this layer here. And we can do that if you want to add some colors and things to it. Go ahead and go to that brush tool. Select the color that you want. And you can put it over top. Now, right now, it's covering everything up. I don't want that. Okay, so to change that, got to make sure you're in design. I'm going to put the opacity, which makes it see-through. I'm going to put that down. Ooh, let's see. Might have to turn it up just a little bit more. Oh, I am on the wrong layer. That's why it is not working right now.